And hello again. The next stitch I want to show you in this kit was a satin stitch. It's a very common stitch used in embroidery and possibly one of the first you will have learnt when you were learning embroidery. I'm not going to be doing a huge amount of satin stitch in this kit because obviously we want to be able to see the beautiful watercolours in and around the stitching that you do. And the stitching is kind of there to highlight the beautiful design. But I just thought I would do some and show you how to do it in case you wanted to. So I have here a mixture, still 2 strands, 1 strand of 2 different colours, and I'm going to stitch this little guy here. So I'm going to come up in the middle of the flower because I prefer stitching satin stitch shapes in 2 halves. A satin stitch is basically, as you can see, straight stitches, but they're straight stitches that are laid next to each other, very straight. They don't cross over or overlap, they're just laid next to each other. So wherever you come up, whichever side of your shape you come up, you always come up on that side. So I came up at the top, came down at the bottom. So I'll now come up at the top again, following the outline of the shape underneath. This is one of those that people often love or hate, and it can take a bit of practice, and even when you practice you don't always get it quite right. If you leave too much of a gap between your stitches, you can always go back and pop another stitch in between. But your idea is to get your stitches as straight and smooth as you can. There's nothing like having a camera on to make you do things wrong. And I'm also at a bit of an angle because I'm hoping that you can see better, but it's making it more difficult for me to stitch it straight. If you want to, you can draw some guidelines on with an erasable pen, so that it helps keep you roughly straight. If you're not worried about how straight you are, then just go with it, because obviously these are supposed to be flowers and flowers aren't perfectly straight. And then I would simply start again on the other side of that centre stitch and work my way this way. And as I'm sure you've seen on the photographs in the kit, this is what it looks like when it's done. I really like that effect with the yellow and the orange blended together quite randomly in those stitches. The other thing I just wanted to talk to you about when I was talking about drawing on outlines, this is a Pilot Frixion erasable pen. available from most supermarkets. And you can draw on your fabric and use a hairdryer to just literally hold your hairdryer over the fabric for a few seconds when you've finished, and the lines will disappear. One of the flowers I have done, these guys here, I have used detached chains, so they all start at this point here and worked in sort of a fan shape. So it's still the same technique as used here, but all starting from the same point. So if you find that a bit intimidating, you can use your pen. It's blue on blue, so it's not ideal, but you can see here, I'm just drawing on loops to help you. Or of course, you can just use a different stitch. Let me just lift that closer so you can see there, hopefully, sort of. But yes, that's how I stitched those. I'm not going to be demonstrating every single flower on here. I'm just demonstrating the different techniques for you, so you can see what they look like, see if you like them, if you want to give them a go. But yes, I really liked the way those detached chains looked on those flowers, but you could simply outline them with something, a stem stitch, a back stitch, anything else, split stitch, if that isn't something that you want to do. The other thing to tell you is these flowers, again, people might prefer to do a woven wagon rose for these, but I decided that was going to be too bulky for what I was wanting. So what I did was I simply did straight stitches coming out from the center like this, first in one colour and then in another colour, which gave this effect here. So if you like that idea, you could try that one. While I'm here, I'll mention when I was filling areas, these small leaves, again, feel free to leave them empty, but I used 3 straight stitches along the same technique as these here, but instead of 5, I just did 3 straight stitches to fill those leaves here. So hopefully that's, again, given you a few more ideas, and I will be back to do some more soon. Bye.